Alright, hello, and welcome back to League of Coaching. Please cut me some slack. This is only my second episode in, trying to keep up and remember what I used to do. But anyway, let's get right into this. Today we're going to be reviewing Bunny Boy, and he basically says, I think I struggled in the mid/late game with my ultimates, and I was hesitant. Lost my first game in my Gold 2 promos, which I feel was because of my hesitance and scarce in using my ults as Sejuani. By the way, ignore the 2 times I ult out of no reason in base. um, it's probably gonna be hard once I see that to just ignore it out of the blue, but I will do my best. You pretty much only ask for mid to late game ultimates, so this is gonna be pretty short video, I guess. There's no need for me to review the entire thing if that's all you're asking for, right? I'm still gonna look at your build though. What was their team? So you have Ninja Tabby, Spirit Visage, Dead Man's Plate, Warmogs, and Trackers. There we go. So your Trackers, I would probably get Chilling instead, just for a gap closer. So you don't have to Q flash to hit them with your Q. Instead, you can Chilling Smite and then Q to close a bit of the area. Ninja Tabby, I see where you were coming from, but they have a bunch of CC, so I would have definitely rather Merc Treads. Everything else in your build seems fine. Let's look at your masteries. Alright, everything's fine here. It's really preference, and everything looks pretty much right. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll just cut to the replay, skip around, see what I can find. Alright. This looks like a good gank. He could get something out of it. He doesn't have his passive, and you burn his flash. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. At this point, you should stop chasing that. You continue to chase. He loses XP, but at the same time, so do you. The chase wasn't really that worth it. The gank definitely was, though, don't get me wrong. That was a good early gank. But now, with that early gank, I want to see you pushing your advantage. He has no flash, so I want to see you camping there for the next 5 minutes. Try and get something out of it. Otherwise, that early gank was just useless. You don't take advantage of not having flash. The flash timer is starting to tick down. You have about a 10-second window before the flash is gone. So, in hindsight, you pretty much wasted that early gank. Good double kill, though. Your Thresh gets picked off. You should have Q ulted a lot earlier. You could have probably saved him. You still have ult now. You should definitely be using it on brand so that your Cinder does not get chunked down. You used it way too late, and she dies. So there's 2 opportunities to save your teammates, and you don't do either. Alright, let's see what you use here. You get her flash out. You get stunned. Right now you're holding ult. No. If you use it on anybody, you should have used it on the brand in the bush. I know you don't know Aurelia's there, but you should have definitely used it on the brand in the bush. Your team could have collapsed, and if you didn't want to use it, just save it. There was no reason to try and use it on Ashe. So the main problem I see here is you're constantly playing either aggressive or passive. There's no in between. You decide to use your ult at a bad time, like you said. You will either use them on not necessary targets or use them too late. And you chase way too hard. Let's move back here. You have ult. Wukong is looking to go in. You guys probably shouldn't do anything. You should just try and focus that tower a bit. Thresh hooks Olaf. Ashe ult comes out. Right now, you should be disengaging. What you're doing. Let's see who you decide to hit. You hit Olaf. If you wanted to save Wukong, you should have definitely hit Brand. Malzahar's ult would have still been on the Wukong, but if you actually look at the DPS happening in that fight, it's all coming from Brand. So if you stop him, you save Wukong in the end. See, let's look at this again. All that DPS is Brand right there. And in fact, yeah, if you hit Wukong, if you hit Brand with your ult, you would have definitely been able to save Wukong. Instead, you hit Olaf, and you guys lose the team fight because of it. Take down the tower. Alright, I'm assuming you're gonna use ult here. Who do you hit? Again, aim Brand. No. You try to stun Aurelia and slow Malzahar and Brand, but Aurelia instead jumps forward and you only hit her. If you stun Brand, because you can't hit the Malzahar, you should almost know that Aurelia is going to jump forward. So if you try and stun Brand, they're missing DPS. That's pretty much all you can do with your ult at that time. Then Aurelia gets slowed. Malzahar is still fine, but Thresh had his ult out, so he would have been slowed. Alright, let's see what happens here. Who do you hit? You still have ult. Your entire team is dying at this point. No. It's either you use it early to disengage the Brand Malzahar, or you just hold the ult. There's not a point for that. This entire game is just you using your ult to disengage or chase. You should definitely start looking to engage a bit more with your ult and actually hitting correct targets. Don't be afraid to ult either. If you have your ult off cooldown and you have the correct target in front of you, just use it. Obviously, don't just whiff it and for no reason while nobody's around go in 1v4 because you use your ult. You know the times to use it. I'm just trying to tell you, don't hold it, because you're pretty much wasting it the same way you would if you just used it to disengage or engage. Is anything gonna happen? Here you go. You guys wanted that fight. You should have definitely ulted. Everybody was gathered. It would have been a good 5v5. You have to realize that you have 3 guaranteed engages. You have Thresh, you have Wukong, and you have yourself. Thresh can only hit one person. If he hits the correct target, great. You guys can go in and capitalize. Wukong can hit everybody. But your job is to either follow up or set it up for Wukong to hit everybody. Now let's look at this team fight. Let's see what you decide to do with your ult. You toss it directly at the Olaf, who has his Ragnarok up. I'm not sure if that's what you really wanted to do or you just hit it. But I would have definitely waited for Ashe to come over this way because she can't auto from this angle. So she has to come here. And then you Q forward so that you waste his spell shield or somebody hits him and his spell shield's gone, and then you have all 3 of these squishies ulted. Because they're going to stay in this line. They have Olaf in front. A couple of your people might die because you're waiting, but you will still have Tristana all the way in the back. You have Wukong right here, and Thresh if anything happens to pull you guys out. So that's what I expect from this fight, not on Olaf. And because of that, Wukong is basically the one carrying this fight with his damage. Syndra dies early. Aurelia is behind you guys. You're about to die. Tristana's gonna die. And Wukong's gonna be left to die alone. But yeah, Wukong just got a triple kill. If you hit the 3 squishies like I said, it would have been so much easier for you guys. You can't keep using your ult on Olaf. He has Ragnarok. He can't be disabled. So you're wasting your ult on somebody that can't be disabled when its main purpose is to AoE stun and slow. You're pretty much just, at that point, wasting the cooldown. I know you told me not to pay attention to the time that you just ult in base for no reason, but it's kind of difficult. If you were gonna use your ult on Malzahar, you should have used it earlier. And at that point, I would have just saved it. Malzahar was no threat to you. See? Wukong initiates and you don't have your ult to follow him up. If you held it, he could have probably killed Brand as well. Alright, so pretty much what I see from your performance is this. You hold your ults till it's way too late. You chase for far too long. You can't really seem to decide when it's a good time to engage or disengage. And you have no priority targets set in mind when you ult. I was seeing you use your ult on Olaf a lot when there were a lot of targets behind him that you could stun and get Wukong to clean up, because Wukong was doing quite well. If you set everything up for him, it could have been an easy game. But instead, you guys weren't on the same page and it didn't work out. that's really about it from what I see. Hopefully that answered your question. And that'll wrap it up. If any of you have any replays you want me to go through, just send them to cruelalecreplays@gmail.com. Any questions can go in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to get to them. That's about it. Hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next episode.